Hello and welcome to Irish Science Fiction. My name is Brian Sexton and you are about to listen to Chapter 45 of a story called Nancy Graham, the Space Ranger. So that's if you hang around, of course. So if you are going to hang around, we're going to start now. A hen, it's a daw, it's a tree, and away we go. Don't hate it, it's a Sneaky Faneezer, warned Hobble Graniker Defence League co-founder Gumgolger Unterwackel, who, in certain circles, was also known as Bit. Sneaky Faneezers are sneaky, he added, so not to be trusted. He had been advising European Space Agency San Laika 2 Mars mission commander Catherine Bishop and a former tunnel-digging noob and elderly Jupiterian known to Bip and Catherine as Mighty. All three of them were on top of a damp, wide tree branch high above the forest floor in an area of Jupiter known as the Atlantean Range of Ballyriss. They had just narrowly avoided being eaten by a collection of flesh-hungry Jupiterian creatures and were now in the relative safety of a tree thanks to Bip's skill with an axe and the elastic properties of spongorial vines. Ah, but if you don't trust me, then you will struggle to find your way out of Ballyriss. And I know the way. And I'm here now. Where are you all from? Came a voice from somewhere in a nearby branch. Tell it nothing, those things are sneaky. Once you start talking to them, they have you caught. Just ignore the thing and say nothing, warned Bip. I already know nothing, so there is little point in that. But I know nothing and something, and the something is the way out of this place. Shut whatever it is you call that thing on the fat head of yours that speaks, said Bip. But how do you know my head is fat? All Faneezers' heads are fat. You are clever. A very wise Jupiterian. I can see how you are the leader of your two friends. Actually, I'm one of the founding members of the Hobble Graniker Defence League. Oh, now that is interesting. Were there many of you? Yeah, there was 3. And where are the others? That pair got hacked to bits and now they're floating about in Breezy McGasperg's Muffledorf chest. Such a shame. And so that means you are now the most important member. Yeah, agreed Bip. And your 2 friends here, they must surely recognise that fact. Well, one of them does, I think. She's a human from planet Earth. The other one, he might tell you otherwise. But he's very old, and he spent most of his life staring at a clay wall while digging a tunnel. I see. I thought you said we shouldn't speak to the creature. Catherine's voice trailed off. Faneezer, came the voice. Earth, huh? That must be a very beautiful place. Is it nicer than Jupiter? Said the voice. Oh, you can't compare the two, replied Catherine. Ah, but you should, came the voice. If you don't compare things, then how can you understand the universe? And a space traveller such as yourself must surely be seeking to understand the nature of their existence. Could I ask you then if Jupiter is what you expected it to be? Do as Bip here said and shut up, barked the older noob. And Catherine and Bip, will the two of you stop talking to that thing? You're encouraging it. Which way now, Bip? Bip stood up on the tree branch. Catherine and the older noob, known to Bip and Catherine as Mighty, did likewise. All 3 took a good look around. And what they saw was a forest canopy of damp, dark purple and green leaves sprouting from wide, thick branches. Thick coiled vines wrapping the branches, shadows, mist, and each other. Said Bip. You don't know, do you? Asked Mighty. I do. Then are you going to tell us? In a bit, replied Bip. I just need to think. About what? Came the voice from the shadows. None of your business. Oh, I'll bet it's very important, complicated stuff then. Yes, it is. Now shut up you, with your fat head. I'm thinking. Good. Very good. Thinking is a good thing, a wise thing. It was once said by a very important Jupiterian that a wise Jupiterian engages in the act of thinking. I wish I had that skill. I admire you, continued the voice in the shadows. Oh, I think a lot, agreed Bip. All the time? Asked the voice. Oh yeah, especially most of the time. Not so much the last while though. But for a long time after the Hobble Graniker Defence League split up, all I did was think. Well, there wasn't much else to do. The Hobble Graniker Defence League split up, did it? Oh yeah, Marketer and Myacht reckoned the travelling show about the Dragon Garden was brilliant. It's not, it's shite. And they just couldn't see that. What a shame. That must have been very hard for you, growled the voice. Well, it wasn't easy. Bip, interrupted Catherine. Should you be talking to that thing? No, he shouldn't, agreed Mighty. Listen to the human. I think she's being polite. What she means is stop talking to that yoke, you dopey streak of piss. But I know the way out of the Atlantean rains of Ballyriss, growled the voice. Then if you do, said the elderly noob, known to Bip and Catherine as Mighty, then what are you still doing here? A promise to who? Asked Mighty. I think we should all stop talking. It will only encourage the, what's this you call it, Bip, Faneezer, said Catherine. Yes, Faneezer is right, replied Bip. So, come here, when you say you admire me, is it because of my skill with an axe or my ability at thinking? Both. And your colourful boiler suit. That is a remarkable thing. Every creature here is camouflaged and generally slinks about the shadows. But not you. It is so refreshing to see. I knew you were the leader of your group the moment I saw you. Very astute, agreed Bip. So tell me, do you really know the way out of here? Yes, and it is not far. All you will need to do is swing back some short distance to a clearing, and then walk out the last bit. How far is it? Not far. Really near. Especially from here. If you will just follow my voice, I will lead you there. Right, well you heard it there, Catherine. I told you could trust a Faneezer. You didn't, Bip, said Catherine. You said the exact opposite. You're an idiot, Bip, said Mighty. Don't heed them, Bip. They are jealous of your wisdom. Just follow me. You will be safe in the trees. Why would I have you travel through the trees if I wanted anything other than to help? Said the voice. Good point, noted Bip. Then he cut 3 of the thick coiled vines. Wrap these around yourselves, he said, and handed Catherine and Mighty one each. Wait, hold on. You're not going to just follow that creature? Asked Catherine. I thought you knew the way out. I do, said Bip, and it is to follow this creature. Now, wrap the vine around your midsection. Midsection? La-dee-da, said Mighty. Why don't you just call it what it is? An uffledang, pretending you're all fancy in front of the extraterrestrial. It's not an uffledang, you old fart. Nobody calls it an uffledang, not since the pre-Hoblogranica era. You're going to struggle in the modern world, Mighty. It's called your waist. I was just saying midsection to be polite, noted Bip. Politeness is the way of the gut, Bip. Well done. Come, follow me. It's not far. I don't like this, said Catherine. What's the like? Stuck up in the damn tree branches of Ballyriss with no food or clue how to get out? Asked Mighty. I know the way out of Ballyriss, continued the voice. Follow me. And they did. For what was a short while. That short while was filled with Bip cutting and handing out fresh spongorial vines, and swinging between large, high, wide tree branches with dark purple and green leaves sprouting from them, and a voice in the distance encouraging them, until they stopped swinging, and the voice said, There you all are! The way out from the Atlantean rains of Ballyriss is at the end of that clearing. Are you sure? It just looks like more forest, asked Bip. Very sure. I don't know about this, said Catherine. Something seems wrong. Like what? asked Mighty. I don't know, said Catherine. It's just a feeling. What sort of feeling? asked Mighty. One that tells me this is wrong, that descending from the trees would be a mistake. Is this because I said Faneezers weren't to be trusted? asked Bip. Because this fella is sound. I'm not going, said Catherine. I'm still commander of the Sand Like a Two and its crew, and I have a duty of care to them. I'll be no use to them dead. This is wrong. I can see no end to the forest, and we've already encountered hostile fauna on the ground. But how are you ever going to find your friends if you spend the rest of your days stuck up here in the forest canopy in Ballyriss? asked Bip. You won't, that's how, he answered to himself. But I right, Faneezer? Always. You are always right, came the voice. Come on now, the Perry, said Bip. He then handed the noob known as Mighty the end of a large vine. Mighty took it and slowly wrapped it round himself. What if Cathy is right? he asked. Catherine is from Earth and knows a fair bit about space rockets. At least she should do. She got here on one, but she knows nothing about Jupiter. Do you, Cathy? Well, not this Jupiter, replied Catherine. And what do you mean by that? I mean, it's a lot different to what I expected, she explained. Exactly. Which means the things you knew were wrong and the things you now know are new. Means you have a lot to learn and need to trust the locals, which is me, said Bip, and Mighty here, and our new Faneezer friend. Exactly, came the voice. So down you go. Bip handed Cathy the end of a large vine. She carefully wrapped it around herself, and then European Space Agency San Laika 2 mission commander Catherine Mary Bridget Bishop felt searing pain. Horrible, violent, sudden, searing pain. It came from somewhere inside her. A flash of movement and a rasp of breath were the only other things her senses recorded. The pain was almost too much to bear, and then it was too much to bear, and was replaced with a horrible, violent, sudden, searing echo of pain. Now, I'm not going to presume to describe to you what happened to Catherine during her death. I know full well that if you're listening to this, then you will have your own life, your own experiences and your own beliefs. Everybody does. All that I can tell you is that what happened to Catherine in the context of this story is that the Fanankiocht appeared before her and cast her from this mortal realm of existence into an unfathomable ocean beyond. And that her body was devoured by 3 marsticles, one of whom did not care for the chewy nature of her ESA issue silicone and carbon fibre boots. And that Bip and Mighty were instantly aware Bip had made a mistake. And, to be fair to Bip, he quickly cut 2 spongorial vines in an attempt to rectify it. He would have cut a third, but it was very clear that the extraterrestrial no longer had a need to escape. Mighty landed a heavy blow on the head of a snarling Garmstongler before he was handed a vine and sprung to safety in the Ballyrist tree canopy. Bip landed on the branch beside him, and the pair stood silently for some time. That was a trick. Of course it was, you goofy streak of piss. You should have listened to the extraterrestrial. She wasn't the leader of a human rocket for nothing, the poor creature. That fat lump of a sheriff of a leader of yours is going to be seriously upset over this. He's your leader too, Mighty. But you're right, he's a fat lump of shite. It's his fault we ended up here in this place. And that was it for the mid-afternoon on the 7th day of the first human mission to another planet. A dead European Space Agency mission commander. A bloodstained axe. Marmsticles. One of the founding members of the Hoblagranagor Defence League. European Space Agency Mission Specialist Bart McMurrow. European Space Agency Mission Specialist Nancy Goodaim McGinley. An underground army, of sorts. And the last remaining copy of the Book of Bongerlan. Adrift on the Sea of Uncertainty on Jupiter. Alright, as always, if you have listened to that, you have my appreciation. I'm going to keep going with this. There'll be another episode before the turn of the new year, so 2025 will see 9 episodes running up to the finish. And so if you've been following the whole thing through, fair play to you, and I'll chat to you in 2 weeks' time. Gurmagat.